Something's knocking wood up there. I don't know, that's weird.
Well, time to drive the hell out of here. Cool.
There's just a bump up there.
From phantom lights tracking your every move in the UK woods to guttural non-human screams echoing outside a sealed mine shaft, the wilderness isn't always as empty as it seems. These solo explorers set out for peace, but they stumbled into something watching from the shadows. If the forest suddenly went silent and the hair on your neck stood up, would you stay to find out why or run? The video was uploaded by Wild Bear on November 8, 2023. It was filmed in a dark forest in the UK. She arrived in mid-October planning to spend a quiet night beneath a tarp. The surroundings were filled with soft forest rain sounds, and the evening began peacefully. At first everything felt normal. Then the atmosphere in the woods slowly began to change.
Hello, wild ones. I'm here in the forest on this beautiful autumn day in mid-October. Got my tarp today and I'm going to try to make a cozy little home using this tree and these rocks. That's a 3 meter by 2.9 meter tarp and various fixtures and cordage. Bring it down around these rocks. And the rocks, of course, are going to be a brilliant natural shelter as well. So I think this is going to be really cozy if I can pull it off. Yeah, I think that'll work. That covers the little bed area perfectly. Oh my God. I love that. Okay, let's secure it down a bit more and then we'll move in. I've got a ground sheet. This is my DD Magic Carpet. I think it's the XL. So I'm going to pop that down here, give us somewhere to sit.
She turned off her own light. Almost immediately, she noticed several lights deeper in the forest. They appeared to move through the trees, but did not change position afterward. She was unsure whether someone was camping nearby or simply standing still in the darkness.
I just turned my lights off because I saw lights over there going up through the woods, so I'm hiding.
There's multiple lights, and they seem to be staying in the same area, so I don't know if they're camping over there maybe. There's not a lot that scares me out here.
The lights remained fixed and unmoving, giving the impression that they were watching. She later admitted that the only thing that truly frightens her while camping is encountering other people. The forest suddenly felt unnaturally quiet and uncomfortably close.
In the woods, except other humans. I've watched too much true crime. I think I've decided to pack up and go. I feel really on edge and I'm quite spooked.
She tried to remain calm, but the tension kept rising. It became clear to her that staying there was no longer an option.
I think I've decided to pack up and go. I feel really on edge and I'm quite spooked. But I don't know how to pack up in the dark. I know you can't see anything, but I'm packing up, so I'm just going to leave this running.
She packed up her gear in complete darkness, her hands unsteady as she worked carefully to avoid making noise. She explained that the feeling was deeply unsettling. The forest no longer felt right.
That's a shame because that would have been a really nice camp, but I enjoyed what I did of it. Oh my God, look at these stars above. Let's stop here and take a picture. So beautiful. There's another light up ahead, but there's no way I'm getting out of here without at least my red light on. It is what it is. Nearly back down now. Trying to work out the way in the dark. Not easy. There's Landy. Hi, Landy.
While walking back, another light appeared farther down the path. A single glow stood ahead, partially blocking her route and making the surrounding forest appear even darker. She continued forward despite the fear, knowing she needed to reach her vehicle.
It's all a bit silly, really, because Those people in the woods, they probably saw my light switching off and wondered, who's that weirdo alone in the woods at night? So I'm not travelling too far from my car, and I guess I'm more likely to run into other people than I kind of take it for granted that once the sun goes down, I'm by myself, and that's how I like it. Oh.
One possible explanation is that these lights came from other campers or people moving through the forest at night, but their stillness made the situation feel threatening. Being alone in the dark can make even ordinary things feel much scarier. If you were in the same situation and saw lights watching from the woods, would you stay or leave immediately? This case was uploaded on August 18, 2025. The footage comes from a man associated with the Exploring with Bear channel, who set out to camp alone inside a forest widely believed to be haunted. From the very beginning, he made it clear that he felt deeply uncomfortable being there.
Bigfoot, my boy, Dogman, and skinwalkers, or the crawlers, whatever those things are that like the caves. There's some caves right behind me here. There has been many lives lost right at this location right here, themselves or other people doing something bad to somebody else. There was another story from another person that said 2 guys was found naked walking down this railroad tracks right here. They said they was being held for days in the woods right behind me here. Originally, Dee and David was supposed to be with me tonight, but Dee got sick and I'm all by myself, so I will be here by myself tonight. So here in a minute, we'll go ahead and get our fire started and sit here and just soak it in. I'm right in front of this cave entrance here, and I just want to sit here for a bit.
Shortly after arriving, he heard a heavy thump in the distance and sensed that someone or something was nearby. He started a fire and focused on listening.
There's just a thump up there. Oh! No way. No way. No frickin' way. No frickin' way. No frickin'.
After additional unexplained sounds, he struck rocks together to test for a response. Moments later, a clear and deliberate sound came back from the darkness.
Okay, so there's a lot of rocks around here. I say we get in a couple rock clanks now and just listen for a bit. I've heard a couple thumps now. Yeah, rock clanks. That was an answer. That was a deluxe answer. Oh my goodness. That was just right over here. Hello? That could have been back here too. Like right in here. Oh my goodness.
As night fell, fear set in. He heard movement nearby, followed by footsteps so close they caused an immediate physical reaction.
Oh. What's that? Wow, man, something just was stepping right there, but there's nothing there. Oh, I got the chills. That scared the living crap out of me. You guys had to hear that. I don't feel good about tonight. I'm not feeling good about this at all right now. Look, there.
The sense of being watched became overwhelming. Soon after, an unusual humming sound and an alarm startled him. What followed was far worse, a deep, animal-like growl from the darkness, accompanied by a sound resembling a human voice.
Oh. No way. No way. No frickin' 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 Whoa! Goodness gracious! I don't think there was a person in there. There was a growl, and then it said, "Let's get him." I heard, "Let's get him." I want to have to go back and check that.
Panic took over. He knew he could not stay any longer. He fled to his truck and was too frightened to step back outside. The idea that something unseen knew he was there.
But I'm pretty sure you're going to hear everything I heard. And that was a growl, and then right after the growl, "Let's get him." No way am I staying here. I'm not even getting back out of the truck. Yeah, I'm sorry, but you guys heard that. There's no freaking way. There could be people tucked back around that other corner. And one of them said, "Let's,"
and may have been coordinating against him, became a fear that stayed with him long after he left. Fear in isolation can make even normal noises feel dangerous. If you heard clear responses coming from the forest at night, would you trust your instincts and leave or stay to find out what was there? Uploaded on August 14th, 2024, the footage comes from camping with Angelo documenting a solo camping trip near a river in Wawa, Ontario. The location was remote and far from town, surrounded by trees, sand, and flowing water. Local residents describe the land as old and sacred, with a long history connected to the area.
It is now day 2. We are out here in Wawa, Ontario. Now, Wawa is kind of out there. It's kind of in the middle of nowhere between cities. I think approximately 3,000 people, a lot of native people that lived on this land. And there's a section of this town that I've never visited before. It is closer to the river. Now, I'm basically heading down this random dirt road. I have no idea what the hell is down here. There was a sign back there that said, "Use at your own risk." I don't even know. Something about not for general people use. I have no idea. I got no clue.
Not long after arriving, unusual sounds began to emerge. They did not resemble typical forest noises. Slow, deliberate knocking sounds echoed from the dark tree line.
I keep hearing something down there. And it's weird because it's not like normal wood noises or forest noises. Can you tell me anything else about your visions? Sorry if I'm moving, guys. Helen. That is really weird. We keep getting the name Helen a lot.
I like the toys.
Oh man, my car's like all scratched up. I like the toys. What toys are you referring to?
At one point, something struck his vehicle with force. He froze, but no animal was visible. Immediately afterward, the forest fell silent, as if everything around him had stopped moving.
What the was that? Something literally just hit the car. What in the... What was that? Okay, tell me there's like an animal or something. There is nothing. Nothing at all. What the... Where's my flashlight? Okay, what in God's name was that? I don't see anything.
Later, while setting up his tent, he heard movement drawing closer. Footsteps pressed into the sand, followed by a clear coughing sound coming from near the river. It sounded human, but no one appeared.
Kind of like setting up the tripod here, and I keep hearing something like, as if it's over here, coming closer and closer to me. Like, right there. What the hell was that? I don't know what that is. Okay, whatever it is now, sounds like it's down there. What the hell? I can't quite tell if it's like an animal or something else. I don't even know. Whatever it is back there. Yeah, you know what? Let's not get too close. Let's not f with it right now. Let's just, Hello? It sounded like it was from up the river. What the... Close my trunk so I don't get a billion bugs in there. Dude, that literally sounded like it was from down there. There's no way. I mean, it literally just goes up the river. I mean, I can go look, but there's no one else here. Hello? That was a bird, I think. Maybe a bat. I'm not quite...
Soon after, a sharp, high-pitched sound came through his recording equipment. The noise was intense and uncomfortable. Almost immediately, his batteries began to drain without explanation, and the temperature dropped noticeably despite it being August.
I don't know if you guys could hear that on the camera, but that sounded like a really... There it is again. What is that? It's like a high-pitched frequency noise. Is it the aliens? What the f... I've never heard that come through like that before. That was really weird. Can you tell me what that high-pitched frequency is? And it is getting freaking cold out here. Holy crap. It's amazing too because it's August. Someone was talking with me through this. Can you do it again? Whoa.
The coughing returned from the same location. He stood still listening. No animals moved and no lights appeared. The sound came from the exact same direction again.
It came from the exact same direction. What is that? Somebody out there? Like, could there possibly be... No, how would there be, like, somebody over there? Yeah, I'm pretty sure bears don't cough. What the hell? Alright, somebody's out there. Show yourself. I heard something over there. I will go over there momentarily. I just want to finish up here first. Okay, let's do some necrophonic first, and then we'll go down there. Let's try this, you know?
As he moved toward the river, he thought he saw movement near the cliff. For a brief moment, it appeared as if something reflected light back at him like eyes. His flashlight began to lose power.
I'm gonna go down there. So we keep hearing what sounds like something coughing down there. I swear it sounds like a human, quite literally coughing. I thought I saw something down there too. Haven't really seen any wildlife though, which is surprising. It is probably because we're really close to the highway. But unfortunately, this was quite literally the only accessible part closest to the river. Let's see if we can see anything that might resemble something that's like coughing or whatever. It just doesn't make any sense. I don't know, I don't see anything. Even my flashlight battery is starting to die now. Yeah, just switch hands here for a second. This camera's quite heavy, so it gets tiring holding it. I don't see anything. There's the car. What's down there? There was again. Shit, my battery's dying on this flashlight. Damn it. I should have grabbed my other one. There's something moving over there. Something out there? For a second I thought I saw something over there. Oh, I actually did see something move over there. What the hell was that? Wait, there's something there? I think this might actually be like one of the scariest camping trips I've ever done so far. Just being out here alone. I literally even just spoke with Jazz and he's like, I don't even know how the hell you do this.
More movement followed in the distance. He briefly saw something shift again, but could not identify what it was. Being alone amplified the tension of the situation. Suddenly, a scream cut through the trees. It was short and sharp, neither close nor far. That moment pushed him to leave the campsite and drive away in the darkness. He made it back safely.
Again. What the... Let's see if we hear it again. So I was just about to get ready to go. So that way I'll have enough time to film the other stuff. And also edit a video for you guys, but where'd that come from? Okay, well, it's time to drive the hell out of here. Let's try not to get stuck. Oh yeah, Subi power, woo!
With him long after he left. Whatever had been near the river never showed itself, and not knowing what caused the noises made the experience even more unsettling. It is possible the sounds came from animals or the environment. But in the dark without clear sight, the brain can fill in the gaps, and turn small details into something much scarier. If you were alone and heard those sounds near the water at night, would you trust what you heard or trust your instinct to get out? Late in the evening, on a quiet stretch of UK farmland, Janet from the channel. Janet Outdoors set out on her first solo bike stealth camp. The video documenting the experience was uploaded on July 20th, 2025. Exposed and uneasy, it quickly became clear that the night would not unfold as planned.
And I'm thinking whether I should go over there, because just here there's a footpath, because the noise of the gate will make me aware that they're there. So
her camouflage tent failed almost immediately. Bent poles and an unstable frame forced her to consider whether to stay or leave altogether. The field was crossed by footpaths with nearby gates and tall crops offering limited cover, while also creating hidden blind spots.
Well, everybody, I don't know whether to bail. It's about 7:30, 8:15. I don't know whether I'd be better off going up there, because if I move my tent there, they're going to see me. This brambles is covering me.
As daylight faded, hesitation took over. She lowered her profile by packing the tent away and using it like a bivvy, but the tension never eased. Thorns cut into her hands, ticks crawled across her skin, and every small sound felt amplified in the open field.
I actually brought a ploughman's lunch for my tea and a can of fizzy orange. I don't know what to do. I've got to think quick, because if I need to go, I need to go now. Because I've been plucking up courage to come on this, my first bike camp, and it's quite nerve-wracking. I've had to really...
Then came the gates, not once, but twice. A nearby gate opened and closed without footsteps, voices, or any visible movement. Minutes later, it happened again, as if someone had returned.
Aeroplanes. So then I wasn't filming, and I heard the gate go twice, and then through the other one, because there was two. And I didn't hear any footprints come round and saw me. Didn't see it. But I was talking.
The silence that followed made the isolation feel even heavier.
I switched you on because I was videoing, and the sound of the gates went again. And that freaked me out, because obviously somebody had come back, and I didn't see them, and then the footprints stopped. And I'm still in the middle of it.
With no clear explanation and darkness approaching, Janet packed up immediately and rode home before night fully set in.
The sun is starting to go down now. I am going to go. I'm so sorry, this was a short and sweet video. And my tent broke. Properly, good and proper.
The sounds could have been something ordinary, but not seeing anyone made it frightening. When you sense movement nearby but cannot see it, would you trust your instincts or wait to be certain? Metal Detecting in the Netherlands is a YouTube channel centered on real-life metal detecting finds. One of its videos, titled Found Treasure Chest. While metal detecting was uploaded on January 15, 2016, and has since accumulated more than 13 million views. In the short clip, the creator documents an unexpected discovery while walking alone through a quiet forest. Using a metal detector, he receives a strong signal from a concealed spot beneath the ground. He begins digging, expecting something small, but instead strikes a large metal plate.
Looks like some sort of plate or something. Look at that.
Rather than stopping, he clears away dirt and fallen leaves, gradually exposing the plate's edges. When it is finally lifted, a neatly dug space appears beneath it. Inside the hole sits a medium-sized chest, carefully positioned and hidden underground.
Whoa! Whoa, what the hell? That looks like a treasure chest to me. What is that? Let's take it out of the hole. God. could that be? Oh, there's some writing over there. And then some heavy locks on there too.
Inside the chest, a note explains its purpose. The container is part of a global GPS-based treasure hunting game. The rules are simple: locate the container, share the discovery, take an item, and leave something behind. The note also invites the finder to join the community and help keep the game active. No gold or ancient artifacts were uncovered, but the discovery revealed a hidden activity many people never realize exists. The chest seemed mysterious at first, yet had a harmless explanation. Still, uncovering something buried in the woods can feel unsettling. Would you feel excited or cautious if you discovered something hidden like this? On October 8, 2023, somewhere in the United Kingdom, the creator behind Camper Vibe headed out for a rare night of wild camping. The plan was simple and lighthearted new gear, a birthday celebration, and an overnight stay in a densely populated woodland.
We're going camping. Now, I know the videos, like most things in life, but unfortunately she is not with us this week. We're going to give wild camping a go.
Exciting actually, because I am looking forward to it. I saw Louise offering her little jollies the other day.
The evening unfolded calmly. The tent was pitched, the hammock was tested, and dinner was shared as darkness settled in. But as night deepened, the forest grew louder. Small sounds felt closer, and every rustle seemed to linger longer than expected. They slept separately for the night, one in a hammock, one alone in the tent, and unease slowly crept in. Sleep came, but it was restless. In the early hours, a vivid nightmare took hold. The scene felt real intense and frightening, leaving her frozen and unable to react.
You got like a little porch bit in the tent, was like there was a man sitting there and he was pushing and pulling my feet, trying to call Louise, but it just wouldn't come out. And then by the time I could actually speak her voice, she was dead anyway, and her arm just flopped out of the hammock. So that...
You're killing me off with a dream.
Honestly, so many freaky dreams. And then stupid Joni, before we left, was like, oh no. So midnight, witching hour. I'm like, oh great, it's like 5 to 12, Blair Witch is coming out. So I had to get over my own head, to be fair.
She woke suddenly, heart racing and body shaking, unsure how much time had passed. By morning, everything appeared normal. There were no footprints, no signs of movement, and no evidence that anything had happened at all. The forest stood quiet once again.
Crime documentary watcher, and normally that's okay, but when you come to the forest and you hear all the noises.
Like camping in the mountains is going to be for you with a hiking element involved. My friend Matt and myself went to Dartmoor and had this epic view over a quarry, so I think that's what sort of gave you the...
Then she brought me to the forest where there's loads of noises. And
we live in the southeast, we've only got small hills, very small hills, and we're limited with options down here, aren't we?
Anyway, it was a good night. It was a little bit chilly. Had to put my coat on. I had to take this away. But yeah, we need to pack up. But before we do, you've had breakfast.
The night ended without incident, yet a lingering fear remained, showing how powerful the mind can be in unfamiliar places. When nothing physical happens but the fear feels real, do you trust what you felt or only what you can prove? The creator behind the Red Poppy Ranch YouTube channel had made several attempts to locate something unusual that local stories claimed existed on his own property. The video documenting this search was uploaded on June 18, 2017. After 3 unsuccessful attempts, he decided to try one final time riding out on his ATV. During this attempt, he noticed an old fence post that matched what a friend had previously described. It appeared to be part of a former livestock corral, suggesting he was finally close to the area he had been searching for. Only minutes later, he reached an overgrown section of land that looked noticeably different from the surrounding terrain. There, he discovered a small grave concealed among the brush.
Oh, what we got here?
There we go. I'm gonna go see if I can figure out what happened.
The marker bore the name of a boy who was just 1 year old, born in the late 1940s. The finding was unexpected and deeply unsettling. Red Poppy Ranch is located in a small town where most residents are familiar with one another. However, when questions were asked locally, no one recognized the name written on the grave marker. Further searches through public records led nowhere. No documents or explanations could be found. The only confirmed detail is that the winter of 1949 was especially harsh, which may explain how the child died, but not why he was buried alone, far from any cemetery. With records missing and memories fading, how many stories like this remain? In 1986, a 19-year-old named Christopher Knight disappeared from his home in Maine and chose to live alone deep in the forest. No clear reason was ever provided for his decision. To survive, he quietly took food from dozens of nearby cabins and campsites. Over time, he also gathered clothing, camping equipment, propane tanks, batteries, and other basic supplies. As locals began noticing items missing, some residents deliberately left food outside, hoping to prevent nighttime break-ins. Even though people suspected someone was living nearby, one thing was clear: Christopher did not want to be discovered. He took extreme steps to remain hidden. He never lit a fire, worried that smoke would reveal his location even during harsh winters when temperatures dropped to around 10 degrees Fahrenheit. As security cameras became more common, some of the thefts were eventually captured on video. Then, 27 years after his disappearance, Christopher triggered a motion sensor while attempting to take food from a camp. Police arrived and found him on the spot. It was his first direct contact with another person in decades. Authorities identified him as the individual responsible for thousands of minor thefts in the area. He was later sentenced to 7 months in jail and 3 years of probation. After his arrest, a blogger searching for a wild camping location accidentally discovered Christopher's former campsite. It contained a large collection of items gathered over many years, confirming it as his long-hidden shelter. Christopher's story shows how far someone can go to avoid society. Was this about survival, isolation, or choice? And could someone live unseen for so long today without being found? There is a YouTube channel called Safety Third, run by an explorer named Jed, known for solo trips into remote and dangerous locations. His content centers on abandoned mines hidden deep in the wilderness, showing real dangers such as collapses, narrow tunnels, and complete isolation. The video documenting this experience was uploaded on January 1st, 2025. Jed set out to explore a group of old mines in a remote valley. Along the way, he crossed an icy stream, pushed through dense forest, and climbed over an abandoned railroad bridge. During the hike, a sudden loud crash echoed from the hillside. Something heavy had broken loose and fallen nearby.
Something's knocking wood up there. I don't know, it's weird.
At first, it seemed easy to explain, but the feeling of being watched slowly crept in. The deeper he went, the more unsettling the surroundings became. Soon after, sharp rhythmic knocking sounds came from the woods like repeated strikes against wood. The noise did not follow a natural pattern, and the tension continued to build. When Jed reached the mine entrances, the mood shifted. Most of the openings were sealed with metal bars, concrete, and heavy welding. It felt less like simple safety measures and more like an effort to block access entirely. Looking into one sealed tunnel revealed a long, solid passage disappearing into darkness.
But there's artifacts. How do we get over this? This old electrical, freaking concrete man door. I can't tell how old that is. How is this even in there? Is it bolted? Oh, it's welded and then they bolted into the rock.
Then a sudden scream rang out through the trees. It did not resemble an animal, and it did not sound human. The sound froze him in place and changed everything.
And it's dry. What the freak? That was weird.
Jed decided to leave, trusting his instinct over curiosity. The source of the sound was never identified, and the sealed mines only added to the unease. In a place like that, would you keep going or walk away?
That's it for tonight. Which moment creeped you out the most? Drop it in the comments. Have your own story? Share it with us, and stay tuned. The next one is even darker.